Geek
Ross.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back for episode 2 of our mini-series on VicPon,
where we're catching up on their title tracks. So today we're doing the next two, which are Unbelievable, 말도 안 돼. And then the next one is Remember Me, 나를 기억해. And both of these are from 2017?
Yes,
yes.
End of summer, fall 2017.
Wow, 3.5 years ago.
Oh.
I'm just trying to picture me 3.5 years. All right, let's just
not.
go. I have to keep reminding myself about the shock of this. Wait, but this music video is like perfect for the weather today.
Because it's so nice out. Oh.
His hair.
Yeah.
Oh?
It took me a second. I was like, oh, that's cute. It's like they're riding the line. That hurts. Okay. Cute. Oh. You're so cute.
Okay, Peyton. Oh. Where's this ladder going? That like upright bed thing just made me think of Hairspray. Up! It's up!
Oh!
Up!
Eyes.
Ah. This just makes me feel happy. You know, that's just making me think of the drama scene, movie scene. I like the ooze part.
I like their features. A couple of things. I'll keep it short. One quality about this that I found really interesting was that everything is sort of exaggerated, like the way they're dancing. When I thought about it, it serves several purposes. So one, it kind of reminds me how in the music video, everything is kind of exaggerated. Like it's super bright colors. There's like the over-exaggerated effects that are like very unbelievable. Like, 말도 안 돼. It gives a similar feeling in the dance. Just a couple of examples of that, like on the chorus, the way they're like pointing at each thing, they're overextending, like their shoulders kind of like popping out with it. They're really like twisting their bodies around, and it's not super fast choreography, so they're really taking the time to like over twist, point a little further, push the word out. Like, they literally at one point are like, Andue, push the word away from them. That sort of quality also makes the dance cuter, which fits the concept. Like, it's kind of cute, it's kind of quirky. This one though, I really enjoyed watching how their dancing had sort of evolved, because like Anna and I were talking about this after we watched it, they feel more comfortable and like more confident when they're doing this song compared to like a debut, obviously. Even when I was watching the dance practice, I was like, oh, this is awesome. It feels like they're really dancing with the music now instead of just dancing on the music. So like the musicality has really improved. And the best example of that is the footwork that I just kept pointing out because I really liked it. It's really eye-catching. It's on the ooh line, but the best part of it is that it's not just that like, oh, they're doing the smooth footwork on the ooh. It's the way, like when they change directions is matching exactly when they're changing in the line. I was like, the musicality, the accents, this is what I'm here for, everyone. Real quick comment. I also liked the shout out to Eyes Eyes because it's in the lyrics, but then also in the choreo, they like pause, they like pose at that moment and the eyes hand motion in like a line, and they all kind of like look at the front and they were kind of doing like silly facials like, uh-huh. So I thought that was really cute. The music video is really bright and it's cute and it's quirky and I really enjoyed it, which honestly might surprise people because I'm usually like, I want the angst and the drama, but also on like a sunny day when you just want a feel-good happy song to listen to in the background, this would be a great song for that. And so I really enjoyed it because today's a sunny day where I just want to listen to feel-good music. So this has been fun. Anna's turn. Say your comments, eat the cure later.
So for my comments, out of the two of us, I'm the one that usually listens to like the, not cutesy, but like happy, brighter, feel-good music more. Like Peyton was saying, what we had talked about after watching the music video, it feels a little less awkward. Just they have more experience now and it really comes through so much more clearly in this one. And also because it's not like overly cutesy, like obviously it's still very cute, but in my eyes this felt more like quirky because of all like the sort of silly shots. The song itself though is repetitive. Like, that would be a lie to say that it's not, but it's not like repetitive to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm sick of this song. When is it gonna end? It all feels very cohesive and connected because of they're just like using a common theme the whole time, but different variations of that theme are being played in the different sections of the song by different instruments, like different parts are taking it over. So like in the verses, it's this more like synth line, like very whimsical synth line in the background. And then in the pre-chorus, it's kind of taken over by the synth bass. It feels like a dampened bass too. And honestly, the pre-chorus was interesting to me because it kind of felt like you were going underwater. And also that's when they really actually have like background vocals because they have like the oohs, ahs singing. That was really cute too. I just really liked that moment. But I also just like whenever there are background vocals in songs very noticeably. But yeah, TLDR, repetitive, but not. It's just a common theme connecting everything together. Also, because when the song first started, I was worried that it was going to be repetitive since they did the chorus right from the start as like the intro to the song before going into the first verse. But it didn't feel that way because instead of doing the final chorus after the bridge, they just did an outro. Like the instrumental itself, they didn't change too much for it, but one thing that they did change in the outro is they have this one moment where like every single beat is hit. For the entire rest of the song, it doesn't really hit 1, 2, 3, 4 until that moment. After it did that in like the first couple measures of the song. So it's like a good opening and closing. The last thing I had to say was, who says the stuff at the very beginning and the very end? Because I'm like, do any of their voices go that deep?
It's Hansumu. That's what I was telling you when
No, not when he's doing Igo Marlande, but like the actual word. There's just like a spoken word at the beginning and a spoken word at the end.
I really think it's Hansumu.
Really?
Or at least he mouths it in the dance practice. It might not actually be him.
Oh.
So
What the heck?
don't take my word for that. He's just like in the front and they're in a line, so he's the only option.
Okay. That's all I have to say. Next. Alright, so the second video that we're watching today is another release from 2017, and it's called Remember Me, Naru Kiyoke. Let's go! Oh?
Alright, well, I was expecting like a ballad, so.
Oh wait, this is the one that someone described in a comment of our... this did not go where I was expecting it to.
This has not been anything like I expected so far.
Wait, is that Hayeon?
Is it? I didn't see her face.
I don't know. I'm wearing contacts today, so my eyesight isn't good. Oh, it's doubled with the highline.
That's cool. Musicality, everyone.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the music video feels very angsty, but the song is very like driving. I noticed that too. Oh, they're dancing in water.
The emotions. It's an emotional thing.
But
like
the colors are so bright.
That's a cool effect though because of how staccato their feet are. The water.
So the splash is like that.
Are you forgetting?
No.
Cry.
It was erased. Is the rain sounds in that? Is this rain sounds? Or is it like fuzzy sounds?
They're very similar. Okay, so let's do something different and let's start with the music video. Based on the thumbnail and on the name of the song. I said this during the reaction. I was not expecting this song at all. I was really had my heart prepared for like sad, angsty ballad. But it's just interesting because the music video too is like super angsty and dramatic. And so there's a little bit of a disconnect that I kind of had to wrap my head around. Expanding a little bit on a comment that I said during the reaction. Water in music videos. I've said this in other reactions. I don't always like it because sometimes it can feel really random and just kind of like there because it looks cool, but it doesn't really add anything to the dance or to the storyline. I liked it here for a couple of reasons. One, because in a lot of their solo, like individual shots, they had the wavy outline over them, which I guess is more supposed to be kind of like, oh, we're in memories, we're kind of hazy, but it gives that like underwater effect in the lighting. And so the water connects in that way in my mind, but also because water can kind of represent like emotions being like flung around or like stirred up. And so that connects too. And then finally, like I said in the reaction, because the footwork, it's a great effect with the footwork there because they're being so punchy with it on the A-O's that they're kind of like stirring the water up and it's flying around. On the topic of that footwork, I really liked how it matched the music, especially the first The movement and the sound sort of lingered a little bit before it went into the ones that happened right after another. And their bodies sort of like lift and then come back down for the next ones. And it sort of reminded me of like that memory, like the fading memory that's like lingering for a second and then is replaced by new ones. And also it's just good musicality, so even if it had really had no like interpretation, I would have liked it. The floor work at the beginning is really cool. I liked how it was a chain reaction, and they also weren't all doing the same thing. It was like what one group was doing was affecting the other group. Final comment, I feel like this is the one so far where I've seen the most individuality in their dancing, which again is showing growth over time and how they're getting more comfortable with expressing the movement that they're given. That really stuck out to me because I've said in previous Victon reactions that we've done that a few of the members have very distinct dance styles. In earlier releases, I feel like you don't see it as much, which makes sense because you're going to be a little bit more focused on like group dynamic and not really showcasing individuality, but here you started to see some of that, especially in their individual shots, and I enjoyed that. And I think it also might be because of the style of like the dance and the song too, that was happening, but that was a nice change to see. I don't really know how to end these comments, but like it was nice to see them change it up and like sort of move towards what we're more used to seeing from them, like kind of shift in that direction. So that was interesting. Anna's turn.
Yeah, I also was very confused by this, as I'm sure you could tell by the reaction. Because it's kind of this weird mix of like they are being very angsty and like the lyrics are very angsty, but it also is like a more dancey song. And I think it's really just like how they're emphasizing the beat so frequently, like the way that they're dividing it throughout the whole song, like right from the start, which isn't something you would really associate as much with like a more angsty song. So like right from the start, the very accented piano chords that are playing on like every single beat, that's what threw me off, and that really sets the tone for like what the rest of the song is going to be. So the time that they like pull back from that the most is during the bridge, where like Hachan, Seungshik, and then like the piano moment. Even when they don't have the accented piano chords, like more in the verses, it has just like a sustained chord, so like one for each measure. But the percussion behind it is moving a lot. And like the percussion isn't even like a deep grounded percussion. It's kind of light, sort of bouncy. If I were to like visualize it, it's like instead of just a hit and it's sitting there, it's like a boom and it bounces back up. Yes.
It's like it's literally like their foot movement anyway.
Oh no, yeah. My next comment for that was like, it's working with how they're dancing, so musicality, yes. But like, in my mind, trying to connect it with the concept of angst, I'm like, that's throwing me off. Another thing that's making it brighter, besides like the bright colors that are in parts of the music video, is the synth lines that they're using. There's one that really sticks out in the pre-chorus. It's more like tropical vibey synth line, along with like the shouted O's in the background. Also, with all the things that I'm saying right now, it's not, I know it sounds really negative, but I want to include the disclaimer that I'm viewing this from like a 2021 lens, so like almost 4 years difference after having seen them in 2020, 2021. And also when I look back and think about what was trending in 2017, then this is like very on brand and makes sense. But it's just like, since it's been a few years. Another thing that's like very on brand for that though is like the fade out ending, because it's not just like a straight fade out, it's like a duh fade out, because it like does a second hit in the middle of it. And the last thing that I had to say was, at this point, this is number 4 of their like previous releases, I'm realizing that they had a very strong like synth heavy, bright techno electronic synth vibe for their music, which is very different from now. Well, that's all I had to say.
It's interesting because I'm pretty sure the next one is the one people said that changed. So
Really?
you figured it out just in time. I don't know, I just remembered that it's one of the next ones. Before we end, we realized that in the first episode of the miniseries, we were like, we already know Victon, we already have our biases. We didn't say who they were, and if you've seen our other Victon reactions, you'll know who mine is, but if you've only watched the miniseries, you probably won't know who mine is.
And I've just never said mine.
Yeah, Anna's never said hers, so we figured we'd at least take like a second just to be like, these
This
are
is who
our
they
biases.
are.
Anna,
So
you
Peyton.
first.
No, Peyton, because they already know.
Yeah, so Im Sejun is my bias.
But
Taebyung-chan is my second bias wrecker.
he's not even like bias wrecker.
I just really want to be Taebyung-chan's friend. I mean, I want to be friends with all of them, honestly, but like, Chaebyung-chan reminds me of one of my friends. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too. Same age, too, anyways.
Mine, that I guess I'm revealing officially for the first time. I chose my bias as Subin. So you can imagine how shocking this has been for me so far. And then, like, I guess my second is Hotchan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still very shocking so far.
We just thought we should say that because we didn't ever say it. Okay, so TLDR for this second episode of our Victon miniseries is we have now watched their third and fourth title tracks. And again, we are still very shook by the differences in what we know of Victon now versus how they were almost 4 years ago. So it makes sense that there's change. Even within these songs, they still showed us two pretty different sides of themselves, from like happy, quirky, bright, sunny day song to kind of angsty, kind of techno synth music.
Dancey.
Honestly, still
Dance.
figuring it out. Still not sure.
But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, our reaction to Victon, and are excited for next week, which is the third and last episode, I guess, of the mini-series that we're doing, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe,
Ding!
turn on your notification bell, and